Hello, Galaxy! I'm Chris Perillo, and you're watching the Locker Gnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short. I happen to be streaming this live and recording at the same time. I can do many things. I'm a multitasker. On Twitch, that's where I'm at right now, as I am every night with the community geeking out about one thing or another. And tonight, I was telling them that I finally got around to upgrading one of our home entertainment centers, if they still call them that. We have many locations throughout our house. Where we have TVs. And we still have a 720p TV that is still used. It's like a 50-inch 720p TV, like one of the first HD TVs I ever had. Like the first non-CRT that I ever had. I still have one CRT in the house. That is in the arcade cabinet that's still here in the play shop. It needs to be fixed or adjusted because I think a capacitor blew. I'm not qualified to do that, nor am I qualified to upgrade the computer in there. Still running disconnected from the internet, Windows XP Service Pack 2, but I'm not a hardware guy, which explains a lot. Especially when it comes to home entertainment. And I know, you know, the highest resolution that you can get is the best, and the highest quality sound that you get is the best, and I've seen amazing home entertainment setups. Am I jealous? Yeah, maybe. But has it pushed me to upgrade my own? No. I've opted to upgrade piecemeal. We don't necessarily take advantage of the big TVs that we have here today. And I don't know if I'm alone in this, right? Tell me I'm not the only person who still has a 720p TV that may be actively used when guests are over. We're showing off our chops. Not really. It's just in the guest room, in the awesome room actually. If you remember the vlogs back in the day. Am I the only one who doesn't upgrade home entertainment devices frequently? I mean, very infrequently does something get swapped out or changed, and I can tell you why. I watch patterns. No, not just on television, so those are fun too, to watch patterns. Who wouldn't want to tune in to watch patterns? No, but I watch for patterns, specifically in how we use home entertainment right now. Because I am a firm believer in not buying technology that you don't use. Firm. Absolute. And I get so frustrated when someone might say, oh, I'm looking for, I would like that, I would love this, I would do this if I had that, and then you get it, and then it's just unused, and it doesn't get used, ever, at all, or infrequently, to the point where, like, why did we get this? Why are we holding on to this? It's technology, and the beauty of technology is that there's always something new, like right around the corner, if not today. So, I'm not someone who has the best of the best. I don't. For a lot of things. Some things I might feel I have best of the best, cream of the crop, because I'm using them all the time. And the TV that probably gets the most amount of action is not the one here in the play shop, which I may have on during the day. I've got, like, playing old 80s TV shows, old cartoons, fun stuff, Star Wars, you name it. That gets some use, even though I spend a lot of time in this room, but not as much use as us watching videos, like, on the fly on a small screen, a tablet or a phone, or maybe a computer screen, right? As much as we've got several large screen devices, we don't use them. The heaviest use is not in our den, where we may spend a great amount of time. The kitchen's right there. We're hanging out there. A lot of traffic going back and forth. We've got a receiver there, speakers built into the ceiling, but it just doesn't get that much use because inevitably Jedi is watching video on her tablet. And Diana is watching video on her phone, despite being surrounded by all the great speakers, or okay speakers, I guess. Not surround sound, just dual speakers, stereo sound. It's enough for us, certainly in that environment. A TV, 1080p TV. I've had that since before I knew Diana. The only reason we have a 4K display in our bedroom is because that was one of the last 720p TVs that needed to be replaced. So that was sent to us by LG some years ago, and it's got 4K and HDR. We had a receiver, but that receiver is not capable, the old one, is not capable of passing an HDR signal or 4K signal up to the TV. So I needed to upgrade the receiver for, how long have we had that? 4 or 5 years? Because we're no longer really using the built-in speakers in the ceiling or the receiver, or the value that receiver might be giving us. Because I bypassed it. I'm like, I don't know if I could have justified spending $200 on upgrading the receiver, even though I am using it every single day for entertainment. I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Like, you could argue that, oh, 8K displays, yeah, okay, yeah, I feel like maybe one of the TVs we have will eventually, because there's plenty of space, will be upgraded from what it is at 1080p to 8K. That's down the line when there's enough 8K content that we watch, and I know we're going to watch it, because I don't like buying tech that doesn't get used. I can't stand it. Have you ever done, you bought it, and it just sits around. It's like it's not doing you any good. And by the time you get around to using it, there's something brand new. So I tend to hold off until I absolutely feel the need that, okay, I know my experience could be better. And the breaking point for me was, despite having everything set up and listening to, I've been watching movies and streaming and everything on the bedroom TV, 4K, but out of the TV speakers, stereo speakers. And it's been fine. Sometimes you run into problems, despite telling the media box as well as the TV, look, it's a stereo. That's it, not surround sound, not anything like that. But because of the way the audio is mixed, sometimes dialogue blends in with the background. And I've tried every little trick that I possibly could, and I still can't do it. I'm like, okay, I watched Dune on the small screen. I enjoyed it as a film. I would not have enjoyed it more on the big screen. It would have been louder. Yes, it would have been bigger, sure. But Dune probably should have been a live action streaming series on one of the networks or platforms or whatever, not a cinematic masterpiece as it seems to be. That's my feeling. So anyway, I realized, you know, we're not using these speakers that are here. I mean, they're never really going to go out of style. I mean, they're speakers built into the ceiling. I need to upgrade the receiver, and I should also at the same time upgrade the subwoofer. Now, I didn't want to spend an arm and a leg, and I didn't do a lot of heavy analysis. I wasn't looking for top of the line, latest and greatest, just something that was going to be functional and possibly be able to get me, maybe not over the hump in terms of stereo speakers, but give me something a little more than just being the receiver when I've got something going on the TV itself. So I ended up going with, see, I'm bragging about buying very old hardware here. I went with this device, a Sony STR DH790. It's a multi-channel AV receiver. Dolby Atmos, I've come to understand that that's very important. Could not tell you why it's important. Because we just got, you know, the stereo sound. I mean, maybe one day I'll go, you know, full surround sound, 5.1, 7.2, whatever. It's ample. It'll work. It's got all the ports that I might need. I would have wished for more HDR, 4K HDR, HDMI ports. They're all the same, but I wish I had more than 4. But what I usually do, I mean, certainly to save a buck, instead of getting one with multiple, like more, I was like, oh, well, I'll just swap out, like when I'm on the Xbox, I'll plug that in. When I'm on the PS4, I'll plug that in, because I'm not going to be on them at the same time. It's easy enough to just go click, 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 click. Not that much of a challenge. You just label, you get a label maker, and you label the cables so that you know what goes to what, so you don't have to go fussing around. We generally don't swap devices all that often, even though most of the devices we have at this point are HDMI. My only question is whether or not I have the proper HDMI cables. We'll find out at the point where I need to upgrade. But the nice thing about this particular, or when I do the upgrade later tonight, the nice thing about this particular stereo, this receiver, is that it's got Bluetooth functionality. So we have a lot of the Bluetooth speakers, because remember, my family's use case for entertainment is not the biggest screens that we have. Rarely. Even Diana's got a TV that I got as a review years ago that she never uses for one reason or another. And it's right there. She's in there all the time, but she's on her little Chromebook or her phone, or Jedi's on her screen, and they've got a big one right there, so it's not about the size. The Bluetooth. That Bluetooth feature is going to enable us to use the speakers that are built into the system and to get better sound, because we've got the, you know, the little Bluetooth speakers, you know, the Star Wars themed Bluetooth speakers, of course, naturally. What other Bluetooth speakers would you have? But, like, you know, we'll be able to use that. Dinah will be able to use that. I'll be able to connect the stereo connectors from the bedroom speakers. This is only, like, got, like, the capability for one zone. I'm just going to connect them to the same screw-in parts. That's a technical term, by the way. The screw-in parts for the bedroom speaker. So that way she can listen to music on her Bluetooth phone or Bluetooth connection to the receiver in the bathroom. So Bluetooth was the big that was the big upgrade here. Not the HDMI, not the 4K, not the whatever, or I should say HDR, HDMI, 4K. There's so many terms, I'm getting dizzy. I'm not a home entertainment guy, but I gotta know, am I the only one who doesn't like to spend money on tech that I'm never going to use? I just upgrade incrementally. I don't upgrade all the time.